Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your hands, wave your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up some more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they will not go wrong. No one to trust. My people, no one to hope on. Nobody. My hope that I have been broken. I'm telling you, brother. So where are the schools? Where are the roads? Where are the jobs that they say they could afford? But they're too selfish. The people tired with their rhetoric. People tired, they tired. You see the reason why we ask why the government betray. They have enough of time, but yeah, then instead they delay. People suffer, no work, but people crying for hunger. Look at. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. They lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, so the people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go not go for wrong. With the promises that led us to all our damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrate us. So why does you lie? Why does you steal? Why does you allow the citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that why we voted you. But you fool us. You screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta whip us more, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They betray us so much. I said they lie. The people fool us, oh. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they go knock the phone. I said we tired with their lies. We tired with their promises that led us to a lot of damages. We tired with that speech they preach indeed, and now unique they deceive us. The thing we saw, it frustrates us. So why can't you lie? Why can't you steal? Why can't you allow their citizens to breathe? You see, we just tell you that's why we voted you. But you fool us, you screw us, you use us and later on abuse us. So why? The government should lie. Why? But that's the question that we ask.
Fighting started, and President Doe was wounded in the leg, and Harrison Pennon and others were killed in the battle. And Doe was taken to my base to face questions. By this time, the interim government of national unity has already been organized in the Gambia. Doe was captured September 9. The interim government was put together before that time. And they had left Gambia and they came to Sierra Leone to await the dismiss of Doe. Because there was no way for that ECOWAS back interim government led by Emma Sawyer, there was no way that government would have taken seat in Monrovia had Doe not been removed. And I was the instrument that they used. The Interfaith Mediation Committee in the search for peace went to Sierra Leone on several occasions. They went to many other African countries, Yamoussoukro, other places, with the hope of bringing peace to Liberia. But I wonder where along the route. Did they make a visit to Gambia to form government? I wonder how did they manage to form government as an alternative, being church people, bishops, political bishops, of course, they did this. Though commander-in-chief was on the throne, and the church that's supposed to be preachers of the gospel of Jesus were the one in the background conspiring against a constitutional order. And they saw that order, that new order, as an alternative, as the best way. The IMPFL that I led and I had no responsibility to obey the Constitution, because we felt that the Constitution had been even breached by the President and Commander-in-Chief by killing our people, by entering diplomatic enclaves and massacring people. All we had in mind was to remove that government violently, as it itself believed in violence. And so the government was put together before September 9. I would like for Dr. Sawyer, my former president of the interim, the man I most admire for his philosophical ideas, to come here. Because I heard him once when he took power, when we gave him power on a platter of gold. I heard him say he came as a child of necessity when Doe had died. He did not say he was made president of the interim while Doe was alive before Doe's death. I want him to clarify this, and I want the commissioners to when he come to ask him that. because it's all in the record, the book I gave you. The dates are all there. And so, Doe was taken to Mambase, and the interim government was so bothered before Doe's capture. When I signed a truce with Samuel Doe, the interim government was disturbed because ECOWAS countries, I think excluding Togo, was not involved. ECOWAS countries under the auspices of Nigeria put so much money in the bank in the Gambia. I don't know the exact amount, but it will be about $30 million like that, dollars. ECOWAS put so much money in the bank for the interim government to pick up. And that interim government led by Sawyer, they not make roads, they not pay salary, they not do anything. I don't know why the money disappeared. You will have to account for that, you must explain. And that money was in the bank in the Gambia. And so they were very disturbed. Every time they would say, leave us Zanga, that the leave us Zanga will come to my base from Sierra Leone. He will come from Sierra Leone to my base as if to say, you're just moving from room to room, like short distance. How you some people will do? How you some people will do? You betray us? You betray ECOWAS? I say, wait and see. They were not satisfied until I really grabbed Doe. Then they came with a big joy, now laughing. We all are involved in the Samuel Doe matter. It should not be blame on one person. We all felt we wanted change, and that we do not need Doe any longer in our midst. In the Gambia, Dawda Jarara, the president of the Gambia at the time, who controlled ECOMO at the time, encouraged the Liberian to form government. I want you to know this. It was in the Gambia, the ECOWAS chairperson at that time was Dawda Jarara. It was in his country, the interim government was formed, led by Sawyer. And before they formed that government, the leaders of the West African coast, a few of them met and decided on the proposal presented to them by the Liberian Council of Churches, by other people, political parties, all of these people, whether they need an alternative government. So the heads of state deliberated, and at the appointed time in August agreed that they should form a government. Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, President Museveni, he was the OAU chairman. He endorsed the ECOWAS decision for the Liberian to form government in exile. When that endorsement was given by AU or OAU, it was taken to the United Nations Security Council by Pierre de Kola. And Pierre de Kola took it there, and the United Nations endorsed the decision of the African leaders to have Liberian form a government to replace Doe as an authoritative, because Doe was brutal, Doe was oppressive, suppressive, and he was a tyrant. That is what he said. And so, late in August, when they formed that government, AU had approved, UN had approved to form government as an alternative. So when they were organized, they came to Sierra Leone to await the dismiss of Doe. And every day, every 2-3 days, helicopter were flying people here, there, here, there, here, there, here, there. Whether I have betrayed ECOWAS peace plan, whether I have betrayed this and that. But all the meeting, the voting that took place, the churches backed Bishop Ronald Dix. The churches. Bishop Michael Francis was there too. All of them. And my last vote cast made Sawyer the winner. So they came to Liberia after the dismiss of Doe. And inauguration was planned. Sawyer was inaugurated. And during the inauguration, we provided food We provided the IMPFL youth wing, the dance, the sing. It was complete merriment. Complete the first food that Dr. Sawyer ever ate in the first water when he entered this country from Ezra, it was my house. A few weeks later, they come in looted. I wanted the rest they were eating whether they found me. So we had a inaugural program. And Sawyer, during the inaugural program, I presented to Dr. Sawyer and his government documents containing the shape, the gunboats, weapons, and things. Millions of dollars that they use to order those things to prosecute the war, and we're not thinking they stop in Senegal. And I turned the documents to him. I turned over to Dr. Sawyer a document concerning 8.7 million American dollars that they had in the bank, which he said we should divide. I refused. I turned the paper to him. In the presence of Nathaniel Petre and the governor of the bank. What is his name? Moses, that governor. David Vinton. And the woman who had the key to the vault. We never entered that bank. We surrounded the bank, we secured it, and the money was in that bank. And I told them we cannot divide this money to buy weapons. When the Liberian people return, they will need the money. That money, Dr. Sawyer took it. He did not have any resources under his control. He was just a president interim from Monrovia. And he took huge sums of that money to back the printing of the Liberty Note, which are banned on my base and Taylor to ban on his base. And it is that money, after using part of the 8.7 million to print the new money, then they use $1 Liberian dollar or $5 Liberian dollar, $5 US, $5 Liberian dollar, $5 US. They had a siphon all the money from the bank, and then he allegedly went to America and bought a house. So they need to account for that money also. And you must also tell the Liberian people there was a legislation in place. The legislation under the interim government was operating. So I wondered why Barrington did not go there to be confirmed. Barrington was not confirmed. Honor Sawyer, who called himself good governor today, for which he is now good governor commission chairperson. Barrington was not confirmed. Yet he signed a legal tender note. Isn't that corruption? And they share that money among themselves who came from Ezra. They came from Ezra looking lean. All of them were looking lean. So we turn everything over. And we were good friends after that. The interim government and I were good friends.
Mr. Witness.
Ona Taylor was not part of the interim government
Mr. Witness, I beg your indulgence, so please give us 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen in this hall, especially those up there, if the noise and the disturbance continue, we will adjourn and resume in private. If the noise and disturbance continues, we will adjourn for 1 hour and we resume in private. There will be no public attendance. We have opened it up so all of us can benefit from the knowledge of the past. And now you are disrespecting the witness, you are disrespecting your fellow citizens here, and you are disrespecting the commission because we did that. If that continues, we will adjourn, and henceforth, these hearings will be by invitation only. So we beg you, please, for the sake of the purpose for which we are here, behave yourself properly and respect us all. We beg you for the last time, please. This is a free, civil, open process. That's why we didn't bring troops all around here to stop some of you from coming or to arrest people or do other things. We have to respect ourselves. If the witness is interrupted again, we'll adjourn immediately. After 1 hour, we'll resume in private. Thank you. Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so, where did I stop? Okay, we were good friends. We were very good friends. We used to travel abroad and come back. Very good friends indeed. But then the political parties in Monrovia were not satisfied. The same people that went to Gambia and made Soya president turn around and say no, that imported government or data holders. And true enough, 90% of the minister was also PhD. If I call them here, they will laugh. They hear. So PhD. Data club. So they were now clamoring for an all-Liberian conference. So alas, an all-Liberian conference was agreed upon and it was held at Hotel Africa. Before the votes could be cast or nomination could be made, Dr. Sawyer called me to his villa and said, come, Field Marshal. I went there to see him. He said, I want to still maintain the pattern that I brought from Gambia. I said, which pattern? He said, I am the interim president. Ronald Dix, the bishop, is a vice president to me. So I want you to nominate him. If you nominate him, you brought us here. We believe in your sincerity. You cooperated fully with the ECOWAS peace plan. So you will be the defense minister. You got a speaker position and other position, but you will be the defense minister if you should nominate Ronald Dix. So I agree. I came out. When I came out during the nomination, I told Bishop Dix, it was in your church, they massacred my people from Nimba. So go to your church and ask God to forgive the people's soul. You will never be evaporated here. So I nominated Peter Naga to the annoyance of Emma Sawyer, Dan Sawyer. The relationship between me and Sawyer then, it started getting sour, saying he wanted this, and I took Naga. And even in the Dukopale mansion, many things that Dr. Sawyer was doing was done by Joseph Guano. He never ever allowed Peter Naga to come nearer to what he was doing, simply because I nominated him. And then the relationship, like I said, started getting sour. Dongo Yaro came in. When Dongo Yaro came in, the interim government had instigated Dongo Yaro to execute Konatele. So I was the next target. So they were trying to find every means to assassinate me. And so I started taking precautions. But one day I received a call from Dr. Sawyer to come to the Duco to meet with him. So I said, okay, so I was going to the Duco. When I got to Vietown, citizens began to run from Monrovia. That is in 1990. 1991, Moses? 1991, that war? 91. Because Sawyer had put him to play a strategic plan to charge me for breach of ceasefire, to have the cause to kill me with the help of Dongo Yaro. So I saw people running from town coming. They said, General, I said, yeah, what happening? What happening? They said, don't go to town. They have put certain group of soldiers, AFL, workers in the way there. I said, but we all supposed to be in the camp. We all were in camp. If Sawyer had not called me, I won't be going there today. But what really is happening? Then I saw Tom Kamara. I told Tom Kamara, I said, okay, you are coming from Bushra Island, so I said, okay, when you go to the Duco, please tell Sawyer that he sent for me. But I hear that soldiers are taking position on Broad Street. So what could be happening? Tom Kamara left, he didn't come back. Then I sent one squad with arm. We were in camp, we were not disarmed. So I sent one squad, and they opened fire on the squad. I sent one platoon, fighting started. Then I sent 3 battalions in town. My men were in town when the American ambassador called me and said, tell your men to disarm. We understand what is going on. We are told both parties to cease fire. We are told Sarah to stop. We told Dongayaro to stop. Tell all your men to bring their guns here. Those of you can control. So we submitted our arms to the American embassy and they gave everything to ECOMO. The ones that went to BDC, ECOMO killed all of them. The group that they caught slavery here, they put them in a container. This new market the president opened right when we crossed the bridge. The container was there. That was a I think car park for the trucks. They put them in the container. One Nigerian soldier they call Hurricane. He got his own name called Konopatre. He put my men in the container and set RPG and burned them to death. Within that time, he made Cassidy defense minister. Because I didn't do what he told me, so he made Cassidy defense minister. We made formal complaint to the American embassy on how Sarah killed our people and dumped them on the sea, and their bodies started floating to West Point. And
that portion that had to do with the war crimes court where you made Liberia's case. What should Liberians expect from that particular portion?
But I just still there. I don't understand what you want. Since we came to power, I've not one day called for war crime court. You, the journalists, call for war crime court. Liberians are calling for war crime court. Both the victims and the perpetrator are calling for war crime court. What I did is to explain to them why now. So if you don't understand my English, then you need to go back to the speech and then you read it well. You calling for war crime court, I say now why this time? When we have an economic issue, we're trying to develop our country, why focus on the war crime code now? Why you did not focus on it 12 years ago? And those people that were part of the entire process of what happened to us, they left the 12 years. So why now? Is that what you want? Okay, then we'll send it to the legislature. And so Liberian can talk about it. I think it's important. I want to give you an opportunity to talk about it instead of every day disturbing the peace of this country. So now you have a reason now to go and sit in your Palawa hut, put a process together now so you can sit down. So the perpetrator and the victim can meet. So those that have opinion can come to see what needs to be done. So that what I did there. So I open now the forum for you instead of chapter.
I did not want to leave this country. I can say I am being forced into exile by the world superpower. I have decided to leave because for the first time in the history almost of the world, the United States is using food and other things as a weapon against the Liberian people. Because if the administration of President Bush says that they will not step on this soil and will do nothing as long as I'm here, this further threatens your survival as a people. And as I have said, I can no longer see you suffer. The suffering is enough. But you are good people. You've been very good to me through the grace of God, and I love you from the bottom of my heart. I will always remember you wherever I am. And I say to you, God willing, I will be back. God bless you and save the state. If that is the challenge, I challenge George Bush. With all due respect, Mr. President, please, you are a man of God, do something for our people. That this period, and as we go, that they will say that something good was done. This must not please and should not be a publicity stunt. It must be for real now. Liberia is bleeding. Liberia raped by foreigners. Guineans, Sierra Leonean Monjors are cutting the breasts of women. They're cutting the hearts out of people and eating them on camera, Mr. President. You must help Liberia now.
Appointed Kessley, may his soul rest in peace, and Gabriel Fangalo also, may his soul rest in peace, to investigate the massacre of our people. Our people brought Sawyer and he ordered peacekeeping force to kill them. He a letter, he said, Commander-in-Chief. I'm sorry, I don't have that letter today. But they burned them to death there after sending RPG on the container. The investigation we called for was never held. They grabbed my men, they put them in jail, humiliated them. I wrote the American ambassador again, who appealed to the RCRC to tell ECOMO to release them from jail. My chief of staff all were in jail. We did not breach ceasefire. That ceasefire was designed as phantom coups are designed to eliminate people you don't want to see, so that ceasefire, that breach of ceasefire was designed by Amos Sawyer to kill my people and get rid of me. But that time, as I speak to you, they have blocked the Carway Bridge. The Carway Bridge. They blocked everywhere, no way for me because I was all the way in town. But Sawyer don't know God. God is great. How I left Monrovia to be on my base. I called off my base. Everywhere was black with tanks. But I called Dongayaro and Amos Sawyer and said, I'm back on base. They didn't know how I got there because the troop was stationed right to Carway Bridge. They don't know.
From the United States, more than any previous Liberian administration.
Doe managed somehow to convince that there was an East-West rivalry there, and that American money would be helpful in keeping out the Soviet threat, which seems ridiculous, and was. But Doe did expel, I think, all of the Soviet diplomats at the time. It was crude, but it seemed to be helpful.
We had the dilemma, do we support this gentleman or do we not? And initially the Cold War tilted us in favor of supporting because we got reciprocal treatment. We were supporting certain governments that were clearly not going to use their assistance for development but use it for other reasons. And we supported people like Mobutu in Zaire and a few others.
In spite of American aid, life in Liberia grew worse. Streets were filthy, development stopped, poverty increased, healthcare and education collapsed. Doe considered the national treasury his own.
Doe and his people had about a third of the $220 million economy. They had those people. They could basically take a third of it for whatever purpose they wanted, for buying cars, for buying clothes, whatever.
Doe's corruption was becoming an embarrassment to the U.S. The White House pressured Doe to return Liberia to civilian rule. Finally, in 1985, elections were held, with the largest turnout in Liberian history. Doe manipulated the election and declared himself the winner.
It was very clear that it was stolen. I mean, I went to a barracks where people were voting often, marking ballots and stuffing them in boxes. And I went out to a polling place 20, 30 miles out of Monrovia where people came in to vote and soldiers were there to intimidate them as they were marking their ballots, and so they would end up voting for Doe.
I solemnly swear, I, Samuel Kanya Joe, solemnly swear that I will support, uphold, protect, and defend the Constitution, and bylaws, of the Republic of Liberia,
He should have lost, but he rigged the election. But at that time, all West African elections were rigged. It was a very normal thing to do for the government to win the election, even though they may have had less than a majority of the votes. So we did not trouble us at all.
Now here comes the head of state, riding a beautiful Mercedes-Benz, a 1000 SVL.
Dou's inauguration was not celebrated in all quarters.
To attend the inaugural church.
I remember describing it in a radio interview at the time as similar, at least from what I could pick up, to the sadness that people felt in the United States when John Kennedy was shot.
We thought that Doe was going to lead us, but Doe betrayed us. He's a criminal. We don't want to kill Doe. We want to bring Doe before justice.
Thomas Kuyempa from the Gio tribe of Nimba County in the northeast was one of the 17-man junta that had brought Doe to power. Kuyempa fled the country after he and Doe fell out. Now, 1 month after the elections, he entered Monrovia with rebel soldiers to challenge Doe. He declared he had the blessings of both the U.S. and the Liberian people. But in fact, U.S. embassy officials had tipped Doe off about the possibility of this coup. Kuyempa's troops quickly rounded up Doe's officials. They took over the national radio and television station, and for 6 hours Liberians believed that Doe had been overthrown. But then, forces loyal to Doe arrived on the scene to smother the revolt. The victorious Kuyempa soon turned victim.
Hey, we are here. So we got here just in time. I mean, it's a prize. We've got it. It's a miracle.
George Boley, Doe's closest advisor, celebrated victory.
And I think it's the best thing that's ever happened.
Kuyempa's body was taken to the executive mansion to be viewed by Doe.
Fellow Liberians, I take this opportunity to inform the nation that the coup has failed. I am still the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Liberia and head of state.
It was a victory, but Doe had other troubles. He was losing the support of his main ally, the United States.
We were starting to get quite tough with him. And the fact that the Cold War was ending, I think, was no coincidence. We had less need for his cooperation. I remember I went to see him with Secretary of State Schultz in January of 1987, and he was very upset, Doe, saying, I'm your best friend, I kicked out the Libyan embassy that was here, and I support you all over in the UN, even in the non-aligned movement. I'm always one of 3 or 4 African countries that's on your side, and all the rest are against you. And what are you doing? You're cutting off our military assistance, and you're lowering our economic assistance. It's all one-sided now. I'm your friend, but you're not my friend anymore. So he understood that things were changing.
Schultz's warning was more diplomatic.
Fiscal austerity in the short run is essential to long-term prosperity. We're getting a little fiscal austerity at home, and it hurts. The situation calls for statesmanlike decisions. The result is not usually immediate, but there is no more important task.
He actually became hysterical with Secretary Schultz at the time. Even though later everything was friendly, there was a nice dinner.
And Schultz said, well, we'll send you some help. So they sent over 17 bean counters, basically, from the State Department. And they were just despairing. When I saw them, they were basically packing up their stuff and going home and saying this is a hopeless endeavor. And they left.
With or without U.S. support, Doe was bent on staying in power. Since Kuyempa's insurrection, Doe had brutally suppressed any dissent in Nimba County. Time and again, he would send soldiers of his tribe, the Kras, on a campaign of terror against Manos and Gios, a tribal war.
And those who is considered to be innocent in Nimba at this particular time I'm appealing to them to leave Nimba immediately, or else their relative, their children would never be seen again.
When I first came to Liberia in 1986, when I first started this job, one of the things that impressed me was that it was one of the least tribal countries in the region. A lot of intermarriage, and people weren't at all hung up about their tribe. They could be quite proud of it. They could say, this cook shop has real Vi cooking here, whatever. And I saw that gradually evaporate, and I think that was the most damaging, the most corrosive effect of President Doe's government. For people up in Nimba County, nothing has ever been worse than what was happening to them. The army was sent into Nimba, and they would go around all the houses, they would drag out young men, they would beat them, some of them they would kill them. The army created enormous ill feeling, and that drove the boys over the border to become rebels, and they were just there waiting to be organized by Charles Taylor.
Charles Taylor, an old crony of Samuel Doe, crossed the Liberian border on Christmas Eve 1989. A mixed Gola and Americo-Liberian, Taylor graduated from an American college and broke out of a Massachusetts jail, where he had been held after Doe accused him of embezzlement. Now he was back, with Libyan-trained guerrillas, and rumored to have the backing of affluent Liberians who wanted to get rid of Doe.
This war is about justice, it's about equality, and about fair play. This war is about the right to self-determination and the safeguard of the sovereignty of this nation.
Despite his rhetoric, his war turned into a war of retribution. Thousands of Manos and Gios joined Taylor, seeking vengeance against Doe's Kras and their allies, the Mandingos. Atrocities were routine. Entire villages were abandoned by people trying to escape the fighting. Families were burnt alive, children raped and decapitated. It was ethnic cleansing at its most cruel, and much of it was carried out by soldiers who were themselves children.
That Doe had in the bank, which he said we should devour, I refuse. I turned the people to him. In the presence of Nathaniel Petre and the governor of the bank. What is his name? Moses, that governor. Vinton, David Vinton, and the woman who had a key to the vault. We never entered that bank. We surrounded the bank, we secured it, and the money was in that bank. And I told them we cannot divide this money to buy weapons. When the Liberian people return, they will need the money. That money that the soldier took it, he did not have any resources under his control. He was just a president interim from Monrovia. And he took huge sums of that money to back the printing of the Liberty Note, which are banned on my base and Taylor to ban on his base. And it is that money, after using part of the 8.7 million to print the new money, then they use $1 Liberian dollar or $5 Liberian dollar, $5 US, $5 Liberian dollar, $5 US. They had a siphon all the money from the bank, and then he allegedly went to America and bought a house. So they need to account for that money also. And you must also tell the Liberian people there was a legislation in place. The legislation under the interim government was operating. So I wonder why Barrington did not go there to be confirmed. Barrington was not confirmed. Honor Sawyer, who called himself good governor today, for which he is now good governor commission chairperson. Barrington was not confirmed. Yet he signed a legal tender note. Isn't that corruption? And they shared that money among themselves who came for Ezra. They came for Ezra looking lean. All of them were looking lean. So we turn everything over. And we were good friends after that. The interim government and I were good friends.
Mr. Witness.
One Taylor was not part of the interim government because.
Mr. Witness, I beg your indulgence, so please give us 1 minute. Ladies and gentlemen in this hall, especially those up there, if the noise and the disturbance continue, we will adjourn and resume in private. If the noise and disturbance continues, we will adjourn for 1 hour and we will resume in private. There will be no public attendance. We have opened it up so all of us can benefit from the knowledge of the past. And now you are disrespecting the witness, you are disrespecting your fellow citizens here, and you are disrespecting the commission because we did that. If that continues, we will adjourn, and henceforth, these hearings will be by invitation only. So we beg you, please, for the sake of the purpose for which we are here, behave yourself properly and respect us all. We beg you for the last time, please. This is a free, civil, open process. That's why we didn't bring troops all around here to stop some of you from coming or to arrest people or do other things. We have to respect ourselves. If the witness is interrupted again, we'll adjourn immediately. After 1 hour, we'll resume in private. Thank you. Mr. Witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And so, where did I stop? Okay, we were good friends. We were very good friends. We used to travel abroad and come back. Very good friends indeed. But then, the political parties in Monrovia were not satisfied. The same people that went to Gambia and made Soya president turn around and say no, that imported government or data holders. And true enough, 90% of the minister was also PhD. If I call them here, they would laugh, they hear. So PhD. Data club. So they were now clamoring for an all-Liberian conference. So, alas, an all-Liberian conference was agreed upon and was held at Hotel Africa. Before the votes could be cast or nomination could be made, Dr. Sawyer called me to his villa and said, come, Field Marshal. I went there to see him. He said, I want to still maintain the pattern that I brought from Gambia. I said, which pattern? He said, I am the interim president. Ronald Dix, the bishop, is a vice president to me. So I want you to nominate him. If you nominate him, you who brought us here, we believe in your sincerity. You cooperated fully with the ECOWAS peace plan. So you will be the defense minister. You got a speaker position and other position, but you will be the defense minister if you should nominate Ronald Dix. So I agree. I came out. When I came out during the nomination, I told Bishop Dix, it was in your church, they massacred my people from Nimba. So go to your church and ask God to forgive the people's soul. You will never be evaporated here. So I nominated Peter Naga to the annoyance of Emma Sawyer, Dan Sawyer. The relationship between me and Sawyer then, it started getting sour, saying he wanted this, and I took Naga. And even in the Bukopale mansion, many things that Dr. Sawyer was doing was done by Joseph Guano. He never ever allowed Peter Naga to come nearer to what he was doing, simply because I nominated him. And then the relationship, like I said, started getting sour. Dongo Yaro came in. When Dongo Yaro came in, the interim government had instigated Dongo Yaro to execute Konatele. So I was the next target. So they were trying to find every means to assassinate me. And so I started taking precautions. But one day I received a call from Dr. Sawyer to come to the Ducal to meet with him. So I said, okay, so I was going to the Ducal. When I got to Vietown, citizens began to run from Monrovia. That is in 1990. 1991, Moses? To 91, that war? 91. Because Sawyer had put him to play a strategic plan to charge me for breach of ceasefire, to have the cause to kill me with the help of Dongayaro. So I saw people running from town coming. They said, General, I said, yeah, what happening? What happening? They said, don't go to town. They have put certain group of soldiers, AFL, workers in my way there. I said, but we all supposed to be in the camp. We all were in camp. If Sawyer had not called me, I won't be going there today. But what really is happening? Then I saw Tom Kamara. I told Tom Kamara, I said, okay, you are coming from Bushra Island, so I said, okay, when you go to the Ducal, please tell Sawyer that he sent for me. But I hear that soldiers are taking position on Broad Street. So what could be happening? Tom Kamara left, he didn't come back. Then I sent one squad with arm. We were in camp, we were not disarmed. So I sent one squad and they opened fire on the squad. I sent one platoon, fighting started. Then I sent 3 battalions in town. My men were in town when the American ambassador called me and said, tell your men to disarm. We understand what is going on. We are told both parties to cease fire. We are told Sawyer to stop. We told Dongayaro to stop. Tell all your men to bring their guns here. Those of you can control. So we submitted our arms to the American embassy and they gave everything to ECOMO. The ones that went to BDC, ECOMO killed all of them. The group that they caught slavery here, they put them in a container. This new market the president opened right when we crossed the bridge. The container was there. That was a I think car park for the trucks. They put them in a container. One Nigerian soldier they call Hurricane. He got his own name called Konopatre. He put my men in a container and set RPG and burned them to death. Within that time, he made Cassidy defense minister. Because I didn't do what he told me, so he made Cassidy defense minister. We made formal complaint to the American embassy on how Sawyer killed our people and dumped them on the sea, and their bodies started floating to West Point. And Dr. Sawyer appointed Cassidy, may so rest in peace, and Gabriel Fangalo also, may so rest in peace, to investigate the massacre of our people. Our people brought Sawyer and he ordered peacekeeping force to kill them. In a letter he said, Commander-in-Chief. I'm sorry, I don't have that letter today. But they burned them to death there after sending RPG on the container. The investigation we called for was never held. They grabbed my men, they put them in jail, humiliated them. I wrote the American embassy again, who appealed to the RCRC to tell ECOMO to release them from jail. My chief of staff all were in jail. We did not breach ceasefire. That ceasefire was designed as phantom coups are designed to eliminate people you don't want to see, so that ceasefire, that breach of ceasefire was designed by Amos Sawyer to kill my people and get rid of me. But that time, as I speak to you, they have blocked the Carway Bridge. The Carway Bridge. They blocked everywhere, no way for me because I was all the way in town. But Sawyer don't know God. God is great. How I left Monrovia to build my base. I called him for my base. Everywhere was black with tanks. But I called Dongayaro and Amos Sawyer and said, I'm back on base. They didn't know how I got there because the troop was stationed right to Carway Bridge. They don't know. They don't know. So I told Dongayaro to stop. It's not a war against me, and I'm on the base. And release all my people. So that investigation, Honorable Chairman, Commissioners, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, was never held because Gabriel Fangalo declined. He said, you sent for me to come and my own son, Prince Johnson, and you making trouble. He's telling you that you care people, I'm going to investigate. So Gabriel Fangalo declined and went back to the States. Then Sawyer had in the so-called Duka Mansion the wise men committee, a group of old men, PhD holders, they call wise men. You got a cabinet ministers, then you got a group of people called wise men. That people know plenty book, plenty wisdom. So I wrote them a letter, 12 counts point. I said, we'll put you here with our blood to bring peace. You creating many factions. You were here for 6 months. If the 6 months finish, revert to another conference to get a new mandate. But you just creating trouble here, trouble there, just for you to stay. And my understanding, you see, Taylor was hiding many things from us. I saw on the paper you were Secretary General of the MPFL. That Taylor didn't show up, but Barbara, no Harry Money, but showed me that paper in Sierra Leone. Where I saw names. Who was supporting Taylor? If it was true that you were supporting Taylor from what I saw, then Taylor would not succumb to you to surrender to you. You must come down. So your leader say he's charging for treason. I say, can't catch you on base. Can't catch me. I'm telling you, resign. Because you were Taylor boy or Taylor a partner. He cannot disarm to you if you remain interim president because agree for power the things free. You ran for Senate mayor. Kuku Hatton defeated you. Now you get interim president, say too sweet now. You want more again, you're prolonging war with the blood of the people. So I wrote a 12-count point to the Wise Men Committee. The Wise Men Committee came to visit my base. When I wrote the letter, they wrote me back, they said 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time, the president will reply you. We will bring you and the president together, together, and this issue will be resolved amicably. I was glad. But 2 weeks' time, at the end of the 2 weeks, the so-called wise men collected one another, they came to my base. And they said, the president is now prepared to receive you. We got there, I saw Dongayaro, I saw Dr. Amos Sawyer, and we all took seats. I saw Amos Sawyer moving back forward and went up in a room. He never sat with us. What the wise men did was, all the 11 counts I leveled against Dr. Sawyer, they had the 11 answers. Already prepared by Sawyer and given to them. Well, if you already have answered these questions, these allegations, these complaints, 12 complaints, 12 answers, then why did you have to call me to come to Duko? Why didn't I stay on the bay you sent to me? They asked me to leave my bay to go to Duko. Only General Johnson, your complaint number 1. Then they got so. General Johnson, your complaint number 1. Yes, so your answer. Complaint number 2. So your answer. So they were reading my complaint, so your answer. So I said, yeah, thank you. Oh, what for true. Thank you very much. Oh, I shook the hand. Then I saluted Dongayaro. I said, look, you people are very wise, very good people. I mean, for Sawyer to take his time to answer all my questions, I never expected. Oh, God bless you. You're coming back to the base. They were not wise. If they were wise as they claim to be, they will not take me to my base. And we got to the base. We got to the base. I called them in my big office. While we were in my big office, I told my base commander, prepare me a platoon plus of men. And I offered them food, palm butter, rice, GB. We ate. And I just called the commander. I said, tie all the brokers. Tie them. Tie them. They came and people, and I bring mother before you, then you can't do that kind of rascal thing because it's a wise man. I said, you're tired of these people here. Among them was one pastor. I'm sorry, God forgive me. And I told the pastor, you made yourself wise man, or who made it? I saw him. I said, okay, you'll go. So I locked them up. You know the Bacardi gin? Each wise man one cartoon. I said, you will drink that here, you bishop, you get 2. You will drink. I said, you will drink because you are rascal. We suffer in this country. We lost men. My mother was killed in the combat. My whole village was burned down. I mean, we will give you job, sweet job, power is sweet. We give it to you, then you got food here. You will drink. If you don't drink, I will kill all of you. So after 2 days, I went, many of them tried to drink, so I said, okay. So I told the base commander, dig big grave, mass grave. Let them see you digging the grave. If you don't drink one, I finish with them. So they decided to drink. But I forgave them because I didn't want the wise men to die my care. I just wanted to shake them all the corruption I go. And I don't play with soldiers. Don't play with soldiers. So I shook them all very fine. And they were in jail. Then after a week, 2 weeks, there was a football game at the Anthony Tubman Stadium. I saw Dr. Peter Naga coming with J. Kabalon Kalon, what is his name? Kabalu Kalon? Jabaru Kalon. I said, Dad, I was referring to Peter Naga. I said, what are you doing here? He said, Dr. Kalon said, I want to see you. So I was thinking in my mind that Kalon was coming to beg me for the people in jail, because the Minister of Youth and Sports. I mean, truly, if you come to beg me, I would think twice and release enough for a particular day. But he came to tell me that there was a football game that was being played at the Tubman Stadium, and he wanted me to go there. So I said, oh, but are you aware that the wise men committee is in jail, the people in jail? He said, yeah. I said, so their business that don't concern you. The football game to take me to stadium so you can capture me now, because the football game, the football field near the AFL. So I'm gonna go to capture me. So since you're not concerned about the wise men in jail, go join them. So that was how Dr. Kalon was picked out and detained for 2 weeks. And at the end of the day, the peacekeepers tried to beg me. I refused, because though we were not on good terms, but what can you do to them? Until the American embassy intervened and I had to free them. And I told them, never again to play with soldier men who suffer for the country. You can't fool me like that. People die and the matter to investigate was never done. I refer matter to you only to trick me this kind of way. So those people were detained. After 2 weeks, they were set free. Then we started doing our normal work. We had thousands and thousands and thousands of bags of rice. Though had brought in consignment for his troops. And when we took the free port, those rice could feed the public. So as we were dividing the rice with instruction, specific instruction, no sale, not for sale. If you sell to make money, I must tell you, you die. It's free. If I wanted to be rich, I would sell the rice, I would be a millionaire. But it's free. And so, one day, I came from out. I saw the crowd right before the Life Force building where we used to gather. My deputy, may he still rest in peace, General Vani, was there with a group of people with the apron, Red Cross apron, ICRC, I think Red Cross apron. And there was a fellow there they called the Council Ravers. and a white guy. They had come earlier when we were and taking one truck of food out to unknown destination. We're fighting guerrilla warfare. And I know that the Red Cross in Liberia had closed long before the war entered Monrovia. So where the Red Cross come from? Red Cross had closed. RC was not in Monrovia when we entered. So they were selling the food. So while Vanny was questioning him, I had just arrived. Vanny saw blood coming from the man's butt. He said, "You're totally close." The man anus ratting. You know, they say he was a homosexualist. So Vanny shot him. It was Vanny who shot the council robbers. And I put the white man in my car and took him to the U.S. Embassy and turned him over. Nobody killed the man. It was General Vanny who shot him. It was public. There's a fellow who wrote the book. He was with us on some occasions. Ubuti. He published one book the other time. James Ubuti. Yeah, he was there. He saw that. So I dedicate the council robbers. But we rescued so many government officials because our aim was to remove the system and not to go on killing people. So we gave safe haven to Frebley. We gave safe haven to Roosevelt Service. Peter Naga was arrested by some of my soldiers who joined us from Monrovia. They had laid Peter Naga down on the bare ground to cut his throat because they said, "Well, minister, up to the time we came." And then one soldier said, "No, if you shoot this man, they call this man to our papi." Because I told them any American government official will all receive. In fact, bring them to me. So Peter Naga was saved because of the instruction I gave. Don't kill government officials. Let them come to us, except for those who will betray us. So that Africula, Serena Ford, there were so many that surrounded to us. David Vinton, the bank governor, Nathan Petrie, Charles Green, James Green. If I name them, it's a book. They were with me. And Frebley was giving Hotel Africa to stay, including service. At that time, though, I'm not being captured. Because this is where I left, I jumped to do capture. So I'm coming back to it. So he was caught communicating with Frebley and service. That was 2 weeks after we get a safe haven. When they brought them to me as evidence, the Motorola, small, short like this, it was on the scene channel. They did not remove it from channel. So the brother said, "Chief, we caught Frebley and service, communicating with Doe, locating our position, discussing with him, hear the radio." So I took the radio from them, and then Doe answered. Doe were calling Frebley. I said, "Commander-in-Chief, it is not Frebley, it is Field Marshal Prince Johnson. Those people have been captured." So I said, "Frebley, I admire you. You are shuffling, a disciplinarian. You and Stanley were then. They were very straight people, very correct. That is why when they brought you from town to me, I said, go. I gave you food, I gave you car. But they don't say you are defending you in my area, do on our side. And you communicating with Doe, and it's evident by this call that Doe made. So you betray my revolution, execution. We are here to tell the truth. So I took them to New Crew Town. I called Savo people, Fred people. I said, "Hey, I feel them here. You need to see them moving here." So I said, "You betrayal. Hear the radio." That is how they were executed. Larry Botte, in Savannah, we will see Larry Botte because he myself joined 1974. So when I saw him, I was happy. But I don't know that Larry Botte had planned before to overthrow Doe when he brought Professor Sierra Leone, the medicine people. That's over here. But when I embraced him again, vehicle, food, and he had his own bodyguards. He started having secret meeting in the night because he ran my boat and said the gun and liberation should not rule, that I don't want to be president. And he saw that as his occasion to become president by moving a group from my mama group to stage another revolution with him and group. That was 1 month after we had embraced him and we were moving free. So we had no place for traitor. So he was tried by the tribunal I established and he was executed. So we live here. My people could not go to Greater Liberia, but Greater Liberia people could come to us and we accommodate them. We try to make peace with Taylor people, with whoever. Because many of my people from that side and their parents were there. Oftentimes when they went there, when the stubbornness were between me and Taylor, they would kill them. So I tried to modify myself by making peace. So the ECOMO came to me, they took me to Boeing, and they brought Boeing to me, and they brought AFL, and they took some of our people to Taylor side. That was the peace I'm talking about, trying to make peace from all uncles. So that situation was prevailing. But what I want to touch here is that Dr. Sawyer was very ungrateful to us. Very ungrateful. When he printed the Liberty money, when they go to, when you know they had the Tesla they used to drive around, when they make the money to go change it to the new note, they will seize it from there and say, where were you working before? Bring your ID card. You're the killer here. That time you used to see AFL soldier walking freely in the street with all guns. You won't take uniform from them. As soon as my men come to town with uniform, no gun, he will order the ECOMO, they will grab them and put them in the container. Suffer them. They were suffering, my boys. So one day I saw the group in front of my house on the base, led by General Vani. They said, we have come to tell you that your short people get bad. That's why you brought. If you don't want to be president today, then we will fire you. They brought $1 to me and said, today, declare yourself president. I said, but you say, sorry about, I can see myself, but we already put him there. And we now power the boat, the gun and liberation now rule. And we support the ECOWAS peace plan. I told the whole world, I don't want to be president. It's always good to wait for your time. And nobody here can be president if you go through ballot bags. No broke man should determine the tune here. Because the both part of the country too. The tune should be determined by the electorates. When they vote you, you are president, that's all. That's what we're looking for here. So when that time comes in the future, when God desires it, I can take it. But not now. They impressed on me. I said, okay, Kano. We get 21 guns salute to Sawyer here. Yours truly. The fire, 20 gun go. I stand up, me a president now. So I stood. So they were giving me 21 gun salute now. Because the whole barracks were against me. If I don't become president, I should become president because to replace Sawyer, that Sawyer not good. In fact, when Sawyer came on the bill with Dongayaro to greet me one occasion, they left us there. Vani led 1 battalion. They were shooting the black the whole row. They wanted to catch Sawyer. And I said, don't bring trouble to me. I sent people to bring Vani by force. And we dispersed the crowd. So you come again and say, yeah, $1 for you. If you don't declare yourself president today, that's trouble. I said, okay, I'll shoot it on one gun. They fired the gun, 21 refused. They tried everything, no way. So I said, okay. Now, as I was standing, you fire, 20 went off, 1 refused. Now let me move. When I move, the thing, pow! And the gun went not 40. It's not time. So please let Sawyer be the president. They say, but Sawyer is giving us hard time. And when he sent the ECOMO, the CC, the car, when they go to the bank to change the small money, he do this, he printed money, he thinking that we stole money now. We keep the bank, we get $8.7 million, he now uses it to buy house in America, he enjoy himself. The man who can dry and looking like fat now, the bamboo warrior, then he suffering house. If you don't, they don't offer him, we'll go to church to them. That was how my men then joined to them. The other post in which my men then joined, it was forced upon them by Dalesaya. You know, most politicians, politics is an act of governance. But some people, they get bad condition in them that they don't know how to rule. You know, Harley Lima, when Rollins took over and said 3 months, I turn over, he turned over. Harley Lima never rested until he put Rollins in jail back because he was not comfortable with him. When I moved Doe and put Sawyer was not comfortable with me, he created BlackBerry. At a certain point in time, he was still not comfortable with BlackBerry. He dissolved BlackBerry for other fashion. Just joining here, there. Playing game with people's lives. The many thousands that fled the country, they didn't matter to Sawyer. When any tower quit, they go to America. When conditions subside, they come. So this was the kind of condition. We fought, like I said, for reasons, but for you to look at us as a troublemaker, and for me to move from here, if I didn't want to go to Nigeria, if I wanted to stay, I would have stayed. Because Leo were not fighting me, Ulimo were not fighting me. Before Ulimo was organized in Sierra Leone, whatever the name the other day, Peter Naga and this Kroma, they came to my office on Bushra Island. Peter Naga and Alihali Kroma, he's listening to me. They came to my office. He said, Johnson, I'm organizing Ulimo to fight Taylor, not you. He said, because we're tired of war and the men perpetuating this war. He informed me. AFL was not interested in fighting again with me. LPC were not fighting me. They want to get Taylor out. So, LPC fought for Risi to get the dictator out. Ulimo fought for Risi to get Taylor out. And when the politicians saw the powerful force of Ulimo, they brought division among them. Ulimo K, Ulimo J. We should stop the dirty propaganda in the country. We should stop. Those people who are here, this country is so sweet. Though we don't have money, but we are rich with resources. The war we fought, what we've been through, we don't want to see a happy year anymore. So we need to reconcile. But in our bid to reconcile, if the secret agenda is to establish a military, a tribunal, war-cry tribunal, then you will plunge the nation back into chaos. Because no one of you free yet. Nobody free. You start catching 1, 2, 3 people on the ground. South Africa did it successfully after Charlesville massacre, Soweto. You see any white man in jail for crime there? Sierra Leone, apart from the UN court, you only have TRC in Sierra Leone, local TRC. I wonder how many people they try beside those who are facing the UN court. Nobody free. So for people to begin calling people, let us treat each other with respect and dignity. Get jobs to the person who practically know the job, not holding degree. Everywhere go down CV. People buying degrees. During the campaign in Ganta, 2 master holders from United Party faced me in debate. I flogged them. And the man is a mechanical engineer. Give it to him. He may not have paper. Now the CV business leaving many people undone. Who is responsible for educating people? Your government. If the past governments cheated our people that for which the illiteracy rate is so high, then those of us on board today should not prioritize CV as a means to employ people. If a driver can drive very well, and you have been driving 30 years, 20 years, getting a job, helping to get a lesson. And let us create more jobs. Because a jobless nation, a nation where half of its people get no jobs, is difficult to survive. It's difficult to survive. How will you feed your children? How will you take care of your other needs? There's something that has been drawn to my attention that we've always been against, for which that matter constituted reasons why, one of the reasons why we had to fight. Apart from that, is also part of suppression. Sacking people under that new brain design terminology. Dancers. Then who are you obsessing? We should promote this government by encouraging the president, holding on with her to provide more jobs. When some ministers are appointed, they get to the ministry, they start sacking the people who were there before. Say, not qualify. If you move the people from that ministry, if you're not replacing them, or you never replace them, then there should be dividends. We should not be crying with no money. The thousands of people that were dancers or sacked, if we do not replace them with people who we believe supported us to get to where we are, there should be dividends. But they will cry about money, no money. And we should encourage the president has a positive idea. But those who are around are blocking things from happening. For instance, the rice market is not open. The cement market is not open. The gasoline market is not open. In Nigeria, after the Civil War, the Biafran guys and they control electronics. They control many things. They're able to build houses on their own. They have decent families. They can feed their families. If a ex-soldier can feed his family 3 times a day, if he can hustle money easily and get it from work he's doing, you have no problem here. We will have no problem. But the mentality that when a man get no job, he got nothing, then he feeble, he weak, he can't do nothing. That's a wicked way there. We should stop it. I'm finished now in myself, so I'm talking about the way forward. But if there's any question regarding what I did not talk, I came here purposely not to waste your time, but to state my role. And you can notice that all of what I have said here was written in my memoir, which copy I sold to people when I was selling them those days. So everything I said orally is all there. But if there's anything that I left out that I did not touch that you know you need to ask, you are free. I didn't come here with other people to start talking about our boy in Goma play. 19 this one. My way is so no, I came to hear the point. And so those are the things that I see can move us forward. Concerning the last thing is, I know you want to ask about Doe. I told you already all what happened in the capture of Doe. You want to know where Doe is. That is a question that needs answer. And I tell everybody who want to know where Doe is. After the many years of war and peacetime now, I don't think I will be having Doe kept in the cover. I don't think that Doe will be somewhere in Nimbat, hidden somewhere. After the dismissal of Doe, he was buried on the base. And we had the inscription, Samekanya Doe, Bon Soso, Dasido Soso, alongside my commanding general. Two things happened. When I was here, One happened when I left the country, another happened. If I had those somewhere like a high safe secure, I would have told Jackson, though, let's go there. Because if the man wants his body, why will you keep it? What will you do with the body? But while we were here, that the Sawyer and a group of Moja propaganda group, they were writing all sorts of papers. I'm a cannibal. That I ate dough. That dog got no grave because we chop him and we ate him. So some foreign journalists came to me and asked me all these questions. And I called my base commander to take the caterpillar to take them to the grave. They went to the grave, they took the picture, but they were not still setting. You could have different things in the grave and different inscription. So I asked them to bust the grave and to bring the body up. The body of Doe was as high as a rock. Doe was embalmed for 25 years. That's Amici. All the chemical he had, as he put it there. And they bust the grave and they dug it. And we brought the body down. And they took the picture. So I asked that they should take him and bury him back. And General Vanney, my deputy, said no. One man can get two graves. So they cremated him. They burned him, burned the body to ashes, and threw him in the river. That's it. So to this end, I've come to the end of my narration. I was not in politics, so I never dive into political issues. I dive into the crisis and my involvement. I touch what I consider major issues. And I would like to say, in closing, as I started earlier, it's good to reconcile. Liberia is the only country we have. We must try to swallow bitter pills, chloroquine, because it can help you to cure your malaria. Let us not open wounds. What I said today, I never told Jackson Doe. I just been dodging what happened to Doe. But as you come to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, you must say exactly what you know. And that's what I have done. I'm on an oath. I'm not like before. I'm an evangelist. I'm an administrator. Yes, certainly. Yes. You know, sometimes people laugh. But you know, Paul, you know who he was? A persecutor of the church. And you know, Moses was a murderer. When you fight war, you kill. Moses was a murderer, but he became a leader. So don't take people by the past. From the day I knew God fully in Nigeria and I got ordained as an evangelist, my past is over. And to the extent that people who thought I won't stay a week or month in the Liberian Senate, I would be aggressive, they are disappointed. And when you read rubbish in the paper, Prince didn't want to be his colleague. The man was telling me that he knows plenty book. I said, well, your degree, I can beat you. Let's go for test. Then he started writing different things. He don't do that. So I want to say to all of you, Honorable Vodia, your commissioners, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Liberians, all the NIMA people who left last night came this morning, the commissioner, the paramount chiefs, former members of the disbanded IMPFL, and all great revolutionaries, La Model, LPC, who made this day possible for us to stand here. God first, second you. If you hadn't moved the monster, the devil from here, the man who wanted me to stay in exile and die, I won't stand before you to speak. I come to the end of my narration. Thank you. This one. No, I don't know.
Silence, please.
No, if I will tell you. I'll let you know.
Shall we have it? Shall we have it quiet, please? Mr. Witness, we want to thank you very much for coming before this commission and speaking to matters that lie within your certain knowledge in respect to your role, your experiences, and what transpired during our conflict period from 1985 to 1992. We thank you very much for your presentation. We take note of your recommendations to the Commission and the series of events that occurred during that period and your narration of how they happened, why they happened, constituting the truth of what transpired. We are convinced you have added value to our work, and at this time, commissioners will ask some questions so that maybe if there are things they want clarification on, or there are other events and matters you didn't touch on, they could bring it up. So we thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman.
Commissioner Connor.
Thank you very much, Senator Prince Y. Johnson, for appearance before us today to give your testimony in a very calmed atmosphere so as to give us the opportunity to hear and know what really took place during the war. And we want also, perhaps on behalf of the TRC, to express our thanks and appreciation to the chiefs, the elders, and citizens who thought it wise to be present here today in hearing their son, their brothers, and their father. We know from here, each and every one of you will serve as goodwill ambassador for the TRC, that the work of the TRC is to fetch the truth. And when the truth is fetched, to decide how to reconcile. That reconciliation can either be restorative justice or retributive justice, depending the condition of the situation. So this commission is not here to hunt anybody, but is here to listen to people and to hear. And I know citizens of Liberia and even foreign friends who are here, please take this message to the other people. Mr. Witness, in your testimony, you give out a line out how you people left here to Libya. And you called many names. My question was, Benjamin Yeten among the first group or the group that went to Libya? Was he part of it?
Yes, sir, he was. He was.
And you also said that before you enter on the territorial soil of Liberia, you drew up, in your own language, you say, we drew up guidelines that will govern, control the activities of the soldiers both in the bushes and the towns. Now the question is, who is the we?
You see, in the revolution, you don't say I, you say we. The leaders of the revolution drew out guidelines to govern the activity of our men in combat. I didn't do it by myself. It has to be a consensus by the leadership and all other, the leadership include the commander himself, that's me, and other sub-commanders.
But were you part and parcel of that?
I was.
Okay.
And at the time I had broken away, I had to draw these guidelines in consultation with the leadership of my revolution, so that we all agreed upon it, and then not to be imposed, but something that was generally acceptable by all of us.
Who led the group, the troop, to Liberia?
Well, we added, from Butu added, and in Tapley I broke away, so I had a separate group from Tapley.
You know what I'm talking about? You talk about the rules, we understand that, but the group that entered the territorial jurisdiction of Liberia.
No, actually, I said earlier that when the Sierra Leone route was blocked because of President Momo's behavior, after having order to be beating Mr. Taylor, we decided on another option to pass through Cote d'Ivoire. And this time around, Taylor told us that he had dispatched weapons across the border. And when we crossed as one unit, that time we were all one, MPFL. When we crossed, we couldn't find weapons. So the rest of the guys went back, and the few wanted to follow me. It is that few that follow me and myself that carry on more recruitment of Liberians on the soil, and I led them. Taylor was now on his own. They were not even when I broke away.
Did your rule provide any provision that in case of disagreement, discontent, how such disagreement, discontent can be resolved?
You mean discontentment amongst the troops of mine?
Before the formation of Independent National Patriotic Party.
Oh, before then, when we were one, we made sure that we refer matter to the leadership. Whoever did what and did what, we refer to the leadership. We never took unilateral action on our own. It was not until I became a leader of my own group.
When? Where?
That's in Tapley. That's in early...
Now let me conclude my question. I'm asking when, where, and why an independent National Patriotic Front was established.
Are you true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Well, it was in Tapley where we decided to break away from the main group, MPFL, and we broke away in Tapley. We named our group the Independent National Patriotic Front of Liberia because we didn't want to completely do away with the name Kwangba brought. We wanted to maintain the name, but MPFL Honor Taylor, I had to modify a little bit by putting the I, so they can know the difference between MPFL Honor Taylor and my group.
What was the leadership structure of the INPFL look like?
Well, we had the commander-in-chief, that's Prince Johnson. We had Samuel Vani, deputy. We had, along the line, battalion commanders, company commanders, the captain, platoon leaders, lieutenants, and of course the fourth platoon leader was first lieutenant, and so forth. We had the G2, the G3, the G1 for personnel, the G2 for intelligence, G3 for training and planning, and so forth.
You also talk about your contact with the late President Doe, and you mentioned the name of one Salif Thompson. Who was this Salif Thompson? How did you get to know him? When? did you know him?
Well, I didn't know Senator Thompson much before the war. But his coming to meet me in 1990 when I had taken over Bushwa Island, that meeting was initiated by a diplomatic institution. Now I got to know him.
During your general testimony, you talk about Feble and Podia. We know these people to be of military oriented. And you said that they were tried by a tribunal set up by INPFL. Can you tell us what was the composition of this tribunal, and who were the presiding chairman?
We had a presiding chairperson, and sir, these people in question were military men who were not part and parcel of our group, but we extended olive leaf to them, who later betrayed us. And when you betray a revolution, then you must face a penalty. And so they faced a penalty. So as to what the composition was, it consisted of the judge and other relevant officers to carry out the court-martial.
Who was the presiding person?
He's dead now.
He's dead. But can you give history?
General Vanning was presiding.
General Vanning.
Because I was always to the front. So he presided over with his deputy and court of officers, court-martial.
Talking about the formation of IGNU, you said you were instrumental in the formation or the arrival of the interim government into Liberia. Can you tell us how you were instrumental in both the formation and the arrival of the IGNU here?
So I had to be. In the first place, I controlled Central Monrovia, including Duco. There was no way for that government to have come here if I didn't give my indulgence, if I didn't participate. In the Gambia, we were there in full, and we went purposely in support of Dr. Sawyer, and our last vote brought him to power. So even casting our vote for him is being very much pivotal in getting him here. That's the role we play.
Yeah, you have talked about the arrival, but I'm talking about the formation. Were your organization fully represented at Banjul, and they participated in the formation?
The interim government, sir?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was given the speakership position. In fact, I sent Noah Bodlow to be the speaker, and Dr. Peter Naga became the vice president. I was given the youth and sports ministry, and so forth.
No, I'm talking about representation. Those are the end results of the formation. But before forming the interim government, whether INPFL was represented at Banjul.
That's what I'm saying, sir.
Yeah.
We were in the Banjul. I sent my spokesman, Noah Bodlow, with specific instruction to vote for Sawyer. And we were fully represented. We sent other colleagues of ours from our group. We were there.
So it means you were part and parcel of the formation of the interim government, and therefore if there's any credit or debit, you have equal share in that.
Well, sir, I beg to differ from that. You have a leader stubborn who could not listen. And that's why we pull all of the interim government. Though I was part and parcel of his formation, but the latter day that the Sawyer could not listen. In fact, he began to marginalize us. And then printing money with all the nation's approval, the money was not approved by the national legislature. And the signatory to the money, on the money, was put there by Dr. Barronta, who was not confirmed by the legislation. So I think it's economic crime. So I asked my people to pull out.
Yeah, that was disagreement.
Yeah, that was a disagreement.
After the formation of the...
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you also take part in the national conference?
Yes, sir. The All-Liberian Conference, I said that in my narration. I took part at the time when, it was during the time when Dr. Sawyer had appealed to me to re-nominate Bishop Ronald Dix. And I agree with him, but on the contrary, I did a different thing by nominating Peter Naga, which annoyed him.
You talk about the Wise Men Committee. Was this Wise Men Committee part and parcel of the TLA, or were they ordinary citizens that get together as wise men?
Your Honor, I really can't say why he kept these men in the mansion and called them wise men. He gave them the name. He gave them the name, and I think they were doing some specific duties for him, and that's why he called them wise men. I never heard of a group in this country since I was born called wise men, exclusive group in the presidency that the president consults in doing whatever he wanted to do. They were there.
Today, you as senator, responsible for making rules and regulations to promote, foster, nurture, and sustain democracy and human rights, what will you say today from where you sit as to the way you treated the Wise Men Committee was within the scope of human rights and democracy?
Well, you see, sir, lives were taken by people who should be keeping peace. My men were slaughtered in cold blood by peacekeepers under the order of Dr. Sawyer. Hundreds of men were packed up in the container and burned to death. And the wise men didn't move on the right footing. So what I did, I had no remorse. I had no remorse. If they had documents to give me in answers to my allegations or complaints, they would have sent it to me on the base, rather than moving me from my base to the mansion, Duka mansion, to only begin to read, answer, and think. So I punished them the way I thought it would be better. Thank God that they even live. Because with the death of my great men in combat, I was confused. I would have done anything to them. But I calmed myself down and I said, well, the only thing they would do is to drink to get more water.
As a well-trained military personnel, what was the rationale behind you deciding or allowing the capture, the trial, and the death of the late President Doe to be on camera?
Sir, I forgot to bring it. I have a video clip. It used to be all on the market here. When Turbo was brutal in his pajamas, it was televised. That's why it's on tape. When Kwangba was either told the son that pills, I don't think they killed him, whatever happened. They exhibited Kwangba body, cutting him to pieces and sharing the parts. So what they did to Turbo, they did to Kwangba, and what they did to Kwangba happened to Doe. Everything that happened to Turbo was on camera. When they put the 13 people, all people like that, killed them and put them in mass grave, it was on camera. If you did, I have it. I thought it was in my bell. I was going to give it to you because I brought it as an exhibit to give you. It's home. When those say you leave your country, I will finish everybody. I will turn them out to dust. I could not allow that to happen with my tactical training in me. I couldn't.
You said, taking you back, that you people traveled to Libya for training. How long did you remain in Libya while undergoing training?
Sir, it was almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. In Tajura camp, almost 2 years.
It is generally presumed that the rationale behind NPFL declaring war against Sierra Leone was because it hosted ECMO and also actively participated in the formation of ECMO. But in your statement, you made us to understand that NPFL vowed to fight President Momo because he jailed Mr. Taylor. So that public presumption seemed not to be the root cause of attack in Sierra Leone.
Your Honor, please repeat the statement so I can give the right answer.
You said when you people, after your training, I'm refreshing your mind.
Yes.
You decided to pass through Sierra Leone.
Yes.
And Momo said, before you people come here, my men that died in 1985 incident, you have to give something to the family.
That's correct.
$50,000 was given.
That's correct.
And the promise was made.
That's correct.
Even houses were identified where the men will be.
That's correct.
For a short time. And when he left, Taylor gave him money to do the repairing and renovation of the buildings. Later on, he called him to come and inspect. And when he came, instead of inspecting the area, he was arrested and detained.
That's correct.
And flogged every morning.
That's correct.
There where he met Foden Sanko.
That's correct. In jail.
There where Foden Sanko decided to replace him in terms of punishment.
That's correct.
All right. When Mr. Taylor returned back to Libya, he showed you his bike and how he was treated.
That's correct.
Now, it was from there that you people vowed that when you come to Liberia, you will fight Sierra Leone or Momo through Sierra Leone.
That's correct.
Yeah, so my question now is, it is not the perception that Sierra Leone was attacked because it's hosted ECMO headquarters and participated, but rather the mistreatment of Mr. Taylor was the
root. You see, Your Honor, the ECMO being hosted in Sierra Leone, that was later. When Taylor was beaten, they would never attack. There were nothing like peacekeeping force on the ground. So the attack on Sierra Leone by Taylor, I'm not trying to justify, but the attack could not have been staged because of ECMO being on the ground. No. It was not the intention before I broke away. Because when I broke away, I went to Sierra Leone and told President Momo every detail about the attack on his government, and he asked me to go to Nigeria to tell Babangida. He gave me a note. So I was not in favor of attack on Sierra Leone. But it was Taylor being beaten by Momo who decided that since Momo, his friend, could take money from him and then put him to jail and flog him, he would support the son of Sierra Leone to attack Sierra Leone to get Momo out. It was not my plan, no. But at the time I was there, this is what happened. So when I broke away, I had to go to Sierra Leone to inform President Momo, who requested of me to go on my way to Nigeria. I should tell Babangida, and that's what I did. And for that, in the bid to help Momo, I organized 2 battalions of strike force, highly trained guys, to go to help. But he said it was okay. So that's the answer I can give.
Is it true that you did not lead INPFL as administrative leader, but as military leader who was in the battlefront in carrying out the activities or the prosecution of the war? But
you see, in revolution, the leader of the revolution doesn't stay back and send people's children. Che Guevara didn't stay behind and send people. They were in the forefront. You always say, follow me. And they follow you. Leaders, true military leaders, General Patton, they don't step by and send people. When they started their military careers, the captain won't step by and send people. You're always there. You're always there and say, move up. Follow me. So I never stayed behind. I was always in the front. It is when you are there leading them that you see them by your side, taking positions in strategic areas. If you stay in the back, they stay in the back. If you are deploying them, go along with them.
So as one who leading your men and women in arms in the battlefront, you are also charged with the responsibility of not only monitoring, but also of instilling discipline.
That's correct. That's correct. My men were not very large, very small but effective, very proficient, and I had command and control over them.
Your organization has been accused of killing one popular AFL singer called Robert Toe. What is your defense?
That, not to my knowledge. Robert Toe will know no singer like that. Because AFL came to me in the thousands. Many of them brought dilapidated weapons, malfunction weapons also, and we gave them new AKs, new M16s. We all feared they could shoot our backs. And they were packed up down on base, the police director, all of them, Sonkale now retired, so many of them, they were on the base. So we could not see ourselves being host to AFL soldiers on my base. They at the same time killing a singer. I sing myself. I had a band on my base. When I come from battlefront, I take the band and play and we're singing. So I would love to have him. Why would you kill a singer? If I sing and play guitar, say yes. Though I'm getting old, but I still sing. So I would have loved to have him.
It is also alleged that a deputy director of police by the name of Peter Thomas and Commissioner of Custom by the name Sam Tody were all killed by you. I mean, when I say you, by NPFL.
Well, if it happened, it may have happened during the combat at the Freeport. I think they were with Doe. I'm sure they were with Doe. But nobody else killed police soldiers anywhere. Soldiers who came to the base directly came. Those police who also surrendered, they came in. But at the port, a lot of people died. And that was the war. If they had caught me, I won't be living today.
What about James Jones of LEC style? Do you know about that?
LEC?
Yeah.
Specifically, I won't say, I don't know. But those who died, they died in combat. Either they were soldiers or they were traitors. I really can say. My memory can serve me right like that. I can't remember those names. I can't. Because you never asked me about Fred Blake, other people are narrated. If I had come in contact with these people, I will tell you. Or if I had any information anywhere, I will tell you. But that cannot be true.
What about Senator Ballard Davis?
Who, sir?
Senator Ballard Davis, who was allegedly killed in Lokintown under a cotton tree.
I know of a pregnant woman that was accused by the soldier of selling rice. He shot the woman and I executed him right there when I came. It was public, so I don't know about senator.
Ballard Davis was a senator from...
Well, I don't know that, sir. Officials of government, you minister, you senator, whoever you are, you come to the base and let us know who you are and we'll secure you. That's what other people did. That's what Bishop Africula did. That's what Peter Naga did, Serena Ford did. The David Vinton, there were over a raid of officials. So if he did not, because at that time, people were looking for people to settle old schools with. So if he did not come for safety, if you are in an area that controlled by a specific function, you make yourself available for your own security. If you did not do so and you got killed, well, and I have no knowledge of that, what can I say? Because we went after soldiers who tried to settle schools, who tried to settle old schools. We said, that's not what we're here for. When I was with the MPFL briefly in Tapley, they killed some Mandingos, and I executed them. Immediately I broke away. So that why I was able to tell you I freed a lot of Mandingos. That was not my issue to kill them. I wrote a letter with my bloody hand to Hoford Bunji across the Shannon Bridge, and they were given try to go. We were not here to kill people.
You continue to make mention of Fairplay and Laura Bote, and you said that they were tried by tribunals. What was the decision of the tribunal?
Guilty, with evidence. The motor roller was on channel with Doe and communicating, and Doe was talking to him when I interrupted. You see, in revolution, if the revolutionaries, if any of them betray, there are punitive measures set by that institution, agreeable by all. Now, anyone who comes in, you know very well, even the military, if you are the information giver to the opposing side, you are as good as the enemy you are fighting. Because I had thought that Fred Blade would be like Peter Naga, would be like Kula, would be like Ford, would be like many others that took refuge on my base. Charles Green, James Green, all these people, Nathaniel Petrie. There were so many. If I open the book, there are so many there. You have the senior people. Now, if we gave you this preference, don't forget that we were trained to kill. If we were not trained to kill, we can't fight war, because when you fight war, you kill. And when we gave you a lay each, 1 mile, don't take 2 miles. That's what happened. You would have thought better. The people brought their revolution. Even if you were taking sourdough, why didn't you stay in the mansion? We gave you safe haven in Hotel Africa. Then you still decide to do communication secretly. And the people broke you, they bust the door, they took the motor from you and brought you. What do I do? If we wanted to kill Fred Blade, because we are blood tested, the day I saw him, that day he finished. But we saved the man 2 months after he was caught. So what can we do? A traitor.
We know that the reason why you set up the tribunal was to make sure that nobody is judged without due process. And having contact with enemy in military language is one thing, and the contents of the contact is another thing. Whether it was in good faith, like how a attempt was made to bring about peace between you and Doe, or whether it was to identify your weak point to Doe, can only be determined, or could have only be determined, if that fair trial was given. So my question is, was these people, as military personnel as they were given those due process under the military?
Your Honor, who determines fair trial?
The law.
We are the ones he betrayed. We are the ones who have instituted this tribunal to investigate him, to try him. So who determines who guilty or not guilty?
You asking me?
I have to.
Yeah, the law decides, because you are not.
Who instituted the laws? When Dr. Doe was here as President Commander in Chief, when he instituted tribunal and he tried Wesen, who never made coup, Wesen who came from football field, was tried in a kangaroo court and condemned to death. Who determines judgment? Who is right, who is wrong? When the government institutes an institution called tribunal, the government determines. Because at the end of the day, the man who the tribunal chairman will send a recommendation, get it, not get it, the final is the government. So we didn't have a war fighting nomadic guerrilla war. We didn't have a jailhouse to put people. We didn't have jailhouse. So we tried a criminal, the one who we thought was a friend, who betrayed us, and then we set up the tribunal to try him for being a traitor. That's what happened. So now when we set up the tribunal, who now determined what is what? The tribunal went through an investigation, and with the evident motor roller on hand, stay on the scene channel, they only stopped talking when I interrupted the conversation. So now the tribunal now decided, by virtue of the trial and the accumulated evidence, he was guilty.
What can you say about the killing of Michael Doe?
Well, Michael Doe is very pathetic and very unfortunate. It was a coincidence. There was a big attack on our troops from Banjo Beach. That's what I forgot to touch, and thank you for the question. There was a big attack on us at Banjo Beach, where a few of my soldiers were caught in surprise fire by the Taylor group. They had crossed from one side and killed the Banjo Beach to take over our position. And there was a battle going on there. At that time, we did not know there was a tussle-over job by Michael Doe and Anna Bradley. Anna Bradley felt that the position she was holding, that Gus left her in, it was the one that position was to lead her to take over Hotel Africa. But unfortunately, Michael Doe took over. So she kept complaining that, she said to us that, later on now, she said, they had a quarrel among themselves, Hotel Africa. She said Michael Doe was not supposed to be the, I think, personnel manager or so. She was supposed to be. So with that problem that was existing between them, and with the war that just was waged, the war that was waged on by the MPF at Banjo Beach, she went to us and said, Michael Doe had brought to the people, knowing that God was also strong to the supporter. So she used that attack on our troops to mean that Michael Doe was the one who brought them.